We are live.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hello, everyone who is viewing. My name is Sergey Starks. I'm one of your co-directors of membership. I'm joined with my co.
Hi, I'm Ashley Scott. I'm also the co-director of membership. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are just recording a quick conversation about why um, people should join NACE, why event professionals should join DFW NACE. And I think it's important to kind of tell both of our stories for the sake of that conversation. I'll start with myself. I actually started as a member Deputy NACE in November of 2023. I'd been attending meetings as early as February of 22, but just kind of learning what networking looked like. I'd been in the industry for a good amount of time, I think about 6 or 7 years. But I had known so many people through just doing events in our market and realized like, hey, all of them seem to be meeting somewhere. And the FOMO and the curiosity or whatever kind of brought me that way. And I was invited to one of the next meetings. Um, and since then, just never really looked back. I kind of drank the NACE Kool-Aid. But yes, that being said, I've been a member for going on 2 years. I've had a seat on the board for going on a year now. How about you, Ashley?
Yes, so I joined NACE back in 2022, but I actually was going to NACE meetings way before I actually joined as a member. So just attending networking events and just meeting people throughout NACE. They talked it up for a while, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll think about it. And I also attended other organizations for a while, and NACE just felt like home. It felt like family. I had the best connections there. So I officially joined in 2022, and then immediately after I hopped on membership committee with Judy Phillips, who was the director of membership at the time, and
Okay.
just kind of jumped into that. And then um, after a year on the committee, then I decided to take the next leap and join the board. So this is my second board term. And I mean, it's just NACE has just been an overwhelmingly wonderful experience, to say the least. So, yeah, that's kind of how my journey started.
Got you. So and for me, one big thing that stood out about NACE, you mentioned being a part of some other professional guilds. By the time I became a member of NACE, I was already involved with a list of others. And I believe I had membership at two others. Um, and I looked up and I'm in five different organizations, NACE being one of them. But one thing that made NACE stand out among the rest was that it seemed to fit like right in the sweet spot between social event and corporate event, which is where I own a family of brands, and some of them lean more social than corporate, and then vice versa. And so I kind of need to have a network of people that represents that. And so NACE was like the perfect medium in comparison to all the other organizations that I held memberships at. For you, was it the same way? And kind of explain like the work you do too, and kind of how you look at networks in general.
Yeah, for sure. So it's pretty similar. I'm the account executive for AFR. So we're a national furniture rental company. And I'll be honest, most of my book of business is corporate.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to break into more social scenes and just kind of tap into that side of things, just so that I could have a more diverse book of business. But NACE just was that a good mix, and it also opened up my eyes to other parts of the industry that I wasn't aware of, because before AFR, this is my first role in the event industry, even though I've been here for 7 years now.
Oh wow.
But it was my first kind of experience into the event world. So getting to meet with caterers, getting to meet with DJs, getting to meet with different planners, it just really kind of makes that whole event cycle come full circle and see how I can fit into those different parts. So
Yeah, of course. And so you mentioned like being a national organization or being an account exec for a national company, rather. One of the big benefits for having a conversation, right, of like why join NACE. One of the biggest benefits is that it's a national organization, and
Right.
you and I both attended the national conference in Milwaukee recently. One thing that I would say is a really cool, I guess you can call this a value, but it's just a cool thing to me. They have regular, or twice a year actually, so biannually, um, some sort of educational conference for leadership to attend or just general members to attend
Mhm.
to learn more about NACE, but also further themselves in their career, build an education base. And so it was cool to do that in cities and markets that I'd never been in. I'd never gone to Denver, Colorado 2 years ago, which was my first conference experience or experience conference. It's so funny that it's called the experience conference
Yeah.
and you want to say
Right.
conference experience. But yeah, so it was my first time attending the experience conference, and that was in Denver, Colorado. And then I'd gone to Vegas, but never for a conference. That's a lie.
Right.
That's a lie. But anyway, that was my second time going to a conference in Vegas for the Evolve conference, and then we recently went to Milwaukee. And I think that speaks to just kind of like the wide net of NACE and how many markets are represented within the organization. Do you know by chance, and I don't know off the top of my head because they just announced
Mhm.
three that they brought on, three new chapters, right? And then there are five in the works. And so I've lost count on the number of chapters that we have in the organization at this point.
I
Do you
have
know?
as well. I have as well. But I could find out and I could get it for you.
Yeah, that's
But
definitely
I want to
something that we
say,
should
yeah. Sorry,
we
go
should
ahead.
definitely share that. But no, I'm sorry, I cut you off. But no, I was just making a point that it's a national organization, a large, a wide net with tons of chapters in different markets. And the benefit of a national organization, at least for me, has been I know people in other markets that do what I do that can speak directly to how I can DJ, how I can go about renting equipment. When I have a wedding in LA, which this actually did happen, I'm holding a consultation for a wedding in LA, but I have people who are in California at whatever chapter that I can reach out to. Hey, who's the best person I can connect to or connect with to, get what I need in that market? Or for, our photo booth company that I do aspire to franchise at some point, and I have another market that I'm looking at. I have direct connections in those
Right.
markets, and so it's great to have those relationships that are formed in different markets through NACE. How does
Absolutely.
because I know you just went on a trip to Oklahoma City, correct?
I did. I did. So, I mean, and that's a great highlight that you mentioned, just having those connections in different cities. And um, I went to Oklahoma City. They don't have a NACE chapter there yet,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah, keyword. But they have a lot of like talented event professionals that are there. And Oklahoma City and even Tulsa, there's just a booming event market that's
Mhm.
trying to emerge and kind of make itself known. And while they do have other, networking and professional organizations, I think they would benefit for something like NACE, just because they're a very close knit group of people. And I think that's very important, especially when you're making connections. And like even kind of going back to the Experience Conference in Milwaukee. So because I also work for a national rental company, and meeting people that are from like Seattle, and then like, oh, we have a rep that's in Seattle. I can connect you with them, and I think you
Mm,
guys can go out and have coffee or drinks and kind of meet up and things like that. So it's just always opening those doors for even not just through NACE, but also AFR and just kind of making those connections as well. So,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. Of course, of course. And another thing I think that's really cool too, as it relates to jumping markets, is there is there's a sense of community activism isn't the right word, but like involvement. You know, like when I
Right.
think about
Yeah.
so Dallas Fort Worth's chapter is the second largest chapter in our
Mm-hmm.
national organization. Um, Houston is the largest currently, but then right in between us is Austin that is
Right.
developing, right? And it's cool to hear about how us here at DFW go down to support Austin and jump in and see what's going on at the Trends deal and at Houston, and just there's so much
Right.
kind of like cross market involvement that's just like really cool in general um, within NACE. I think another cool value. Say that again?
Sorry to highlight that with your NACE membership, that's something that we introduced last year, that you can do a dual membership. So
Yeah.
if you are in more than one market, so if you travel between Dallas and Houston, or if you're
Mhm.
in Dallas and you're going to California and you travel those markets out there, you can be a part of both of those NACE chapters. So just,
Wh-
as
Which
a
I
new
could see
perk.
being very helpful, especially for like an AFR or any company. I know several event professionals here in Dallas who do business in both Dallas, Fort Worth, and Houston, and they drive back and forth often. So that is thank you for pointing that out. I'd love to speak to kind of the personal versus professional value of being a member, specifically at DFW NACE. Professionally, when I became a member, I came in with a very like deliberate mission of like getting these questions answered, and I won't go into details on what those questions were, but like as an event professional and a businessman, I wanted to grow and find education that would help me grow. Right.
Mm-hmm.
NACE, especially on a national level, like the I guess kind of database they have of speakers is tremendous, and so I found that the education at whenever I would attend DFW NACE meetings was just like second to none. It was just like I could count on a monthly meeting where I would go and have some takeaways and things that I could implement to my business as a business owner immediately, and it would make some immediate change for me. So from a professional standpoint, I've definitely experienced a great sense of elevation, just professional, my own professional development. What say you?
I definitely say the same. Just because, like, I like to say again that I was a little green to the event industry at first, and you know, not being super comfortable, in something that you've never done before, and then
Mhm.
just leaning on people that know the industry and kind of using them as like a mentor and a guide is like was really helpful and beneficial to me. And then also the networking part, it's, I can be a little introverted. That's just my personality. But, when you're around people that you're comfortable talking to, and those people that they become your friends, you really kind of open up and you get to collaborate a bit more. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been
And
great.
there's like this unwritten kind of, I've even heard the phrase be used both on a national level and locally, this kind of
Mhm.
NACE first concept, right?
Yeah.
And so even like with you being introverted but still having things that you're looking to accomplish, um, like our chapter for sure is really good about jumping in and helping each other accomplish those things. I can
Right.
speak to several great deals that we just one of them just came to mind. I can speak to several great business opportunities that we've had the fortune of having because of NACE. Just because someone had
Same.
that mindset of NACE first, you have this need, I'm going to send you directly to one of the companies. Um, and I, I kind of don't want to speak too much to it because some of them are coming up. So I'll wait. But you mentioned that. Are there any that you would like to share?
I mean, I won't name drop. However, I think even like the collaboration that I did with BBJ Latavala,
Mhm.
I met the rep who covers Oklahoma through NACE, because Vanessa is also on the board and she also works with BBJ. So there's been connections that we have made together that, we'll talk and we sit down and like, oh, are you working with this client? I'll be like, oh, no, I haven't worked with them. Oh, here, let me connect you, because they also always do rentals, and it's vice versa. Like maybe I've introduced her to some of my clients in markets that we share. So it's always that collaboration, just because like, hey, I know them, I network with them, they've also become my friends, and who wouldn't want to work with people that you're close with? So that's kind of what NACE has become, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have a way of communicating uh, a personal, for sure. I won't say which restaurant it is, but there is a restaurant and event space that is right in the heart of downtown Dallas. And since I was a kid, I would always drive by it. It's a very noticeable building. And I would always drive by it and want to go in there, I'll say. And I just always want to go in there. And I had no clue as a kid that there was a restaurant or that there was a restaurant attached to it. But I found out later through NACE, because one of the directors of catering and sales was, working there. I didn't even have a very, her and I had met a couple times. But, we didn't have a strong relationship. But again, just because you're NACE. And at that point, I was on the board also. I was able to text this young lady, hey, I need a big favor. My anniversary, my 6-year anniversary is coming up, and all my plans have fell through. Can you please help me? She didn't respond to the email. I saw her the next 2 days later at one of our NACE events. And she just walks up to me and grabs my arm and says, hey, you're good. I got your email. Don't worry. I got in my car at the end of that event and got an email, a ping, hey, your reservation's at 8. Like it was all taken care of. Yeah, it was an incredible experience. My wife was overjoyed, and I mean, I was husband of the year that night, and that was one of those special moments that impacted my marriage and everything else. My personal life was affected, just by, again, the relationships of NACE. And it definitely helped to sell my wife over too on why I'm doing all this networking.
That's awesome. Yeah. Just from NACE, that connection. That's crazy. That's great.
Yeah. So let's talk about kind of some of the perks from we mentioned the national side of the organization, right? We receive as members, perks from national. I know one of my favorites is the UPS freight. We have some savings there, some other things. All of us as members, we navigate, or we're all housed on NACE.net. And I'd love for you to kind of share with the viewers how to navigate that as a member and what that looks like, what the whole value and point of all that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can share my screen, and then I can kind of walk you through NACE.net and how that looks. So let me do that. Can you see my screen okay? Okay. So the first thing that you do is, of course, you want to go to NACE.net. And as you mentioned, these are some of the key savings that they have highlighted right here. So your savings with any type of travel, car rental, so Avis Budget, the UPS store, court events, Lenovo, Good Shuffle Pro, and then so much more. So if you have not created, if you are a new member and you're looking to join NACE, the first thing I would encourage you to do is register for your NACE.net account. If you are an existing member, you can log in and you'll have access to all of this. So once you create your login, you can go into your account. I'm going to go back a little bit here. And you'll come to the landing page, and then it kind of will take you through just kind of step by step of if you're looking to join, if you are looking for any type of events in education and learning. So you can also access a national member directory here, which is awesome. Just if you're trying to find a DJ in Nashville, this is a great resource that you can go and pull information up and see who you can connect with for NACE members that are not in
Or
your location.
and really quickly, just to add,
Uh-huh.
or someone who works for the Milwaukee Bucks when you're in Milwaukee for the conference.
Did you do that as
Uh,
well?
no comment. No comment.
Okay. All right.
The Brewers were playing while we were in town. I'm just gonna say that.
Okay. I was like, did you go get tickets? And we didn't know. So then, yeah, then you could also, if you're interested in getting your certification, I know we recently just went through the CPCE fast track program as a Dallas chapter, and we have passed. So a few of us recently just earned our certification. So this
Yeah,
is a
you got to
great
update your
resource
name right here. I just see
I
Ashley Scott. I
know.
need to see CPCE.
To put the CPCE behind it. So this is a great resource if you're interested about learning more about that. And then this kind of goes on a national level once we go into conference season for next year. This is where you can go and learn about the awards that that are presented during conference, what the past nominees, who the past nominees were, and then who the past winners were for that year. And then a calendar of national events if you want any type of NACE gear, and then the NACE Foundation is where you can learn all about that. So that's just kind of like a quick rundown of some of the landing pages. Once you're in your profile, it can kind of, you can go and set it up. It's kind of like your personal business card. I think you
Mhm.
even, if you download this on your phone, you can also get a QR code. I think you showed this to me at
Yes.
a conference that you can kind of treat it like your own personal business card, and other people can scan it and you can have their contact information.
Mhm.
And then
Can
once
I
you
speak to that really
do,
quickly?
yeah, absolutely.
So the cool thing about that business card is, one, it makes exchanging information way more efficient, especially when you are attending conference, or especially if you're at an event where you're speaking to someone else who's NACE. And I have also been at events where someone that I didn't know who was either previously NACE or knew someone else in NACE saw I have a cowboy hat I wear a lot, and I have the pin on my hat. She noticed it and was like, "How long have you been in NACE?" And we wanted to exchange information, but I'm actually at an event working the event. So I don't have 20 minutes for the conversation, but that
Right.
quick QR code made it very easy to connect with that young lady, and then we could reconvene later. And I've met some very solid contacts that have been helpful for my business later on. Just this way, and we keep in communication through the app. So definitely, especially
Yes.
those who are watching who are members, get the app.
Yes, for sure. And then, like, I think these are some people that I connected with at conference
Oh,
that I
Marion, yeah.
use that the QR code. So it'll save everything here for you, which is, I mean, great to have for sure.
Hmm.
In NACE.net and you are on that home landing screen, this is kind of like where you can access almost everything throughout the NACE website. So right here at the top is telling me that it's time for me to renew my membership. So I would click through
Very
that to
important.
kind of go through. Yes, very important. But this kind of it gives me like LinkedIn, almost like Facebook type of landing page. You can actually go in and post different messages for people in the NACE community. So this is another point, like if you're looking for a caterer or if a DJ or something that's outside of your city, you'll be like, hey, want to reach out to anybody in Nashville who can connect me with somebody out there for a caterer or a DJ. Or if you just attended any type of NACE event, you can post photos, videos, or anything like that.
One of my favorites here is, hey, I'm going to be in a new market. I took my wife to Chicago once. Hey, who do we know that is banquets or sells at a hotel, right?
Right.
If I'm going to be in Chicago, I might as well have the dual value and us enjoying the city of Chicago but also
Right.
being able to meet someone that's in my NACE network, see their space, that kind of thing, take full advantage. They love it because they get to show us, their space, kind of buddy up a little bit, and then, show us what their city has to offer. It also usually comes with some really cool recommendations for food in the city. So,
Right. I mean, this is a great place to start for going any new place. I mean,
mhm,
people are always, especially in that NACE community, like you said earlier, that NACE first, connecting with people in this
mhm.
organization that are there to, kind of serve as your guide as you're going through it. So
Yep.
then from here, it'll also tell you what your active memberships are. You could go in here and edit any details that you may have. Um, Also on the side, it'll have your community. So again, this will be like the feed, the people that you have connected with, any type of groups that you're a part of, will all be located here. This is where you can also access that member directory. So if you may have connected with somebody in a different market, or if you just kind of want to, scroll through and see who is all in this NACE database, this is the place to go. I see some Dallas people in here, all across the country. So this is also a great resource, especially if you're do a lot of national business or you're looking to
Mhm.
expand your business. This is a great place to start. Um,
Absolutely.
then also here of also this kind of list any type of events, and this is where you would access like your membership. So if you were going in to renew, you'll click this crown and you can either sign up for a membership or renew your membership using this as well. Then also any type of subscriptions that you subscribe to for communication. So I have them all checked because I want all the updates.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
then also any committees that you are a part of will be listed here. And then all of your wallet for any type of payment information. So this is just a quick rundown of uh, just kind of navigating the NACE website, and then just some of highlighting some of those membership values that we have for you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for anybody that's watching that is not a member, I would highly recommend considering it. If you've been attending regularly, uh, I would highly recommend a committee also. Our chapter meets on the first Wednesday of every month, with the exception of a few major events, our gala or fundraiser events, things like that. But I actually started with jumping in as a member and getting into the community service committee. That's another value that we didn't even talk about, right? It's just like being on a
Mhm.
committee, building deeper relationships with people within that committee, but also being alongside other like-minded individuals to go out and do whatever your committee is set out to do. For us at community service, last year we had efforts towards the Center of Hope in Dallas, really helping people who were uh, I don't even know the proper term. I guess less fortunate, lived in shelters and just kind of needed help. We hosted a few events there. Here at membership, we have a whole list of really cool
Yes.
tasks to handle for our chapter. But there's so many other committees, the fundraiser programs, all the other committees to get involved with, and those are opportunities to learn more, especially in programs. Like a lot of the planners, I'm sure would love, or I'm sure love the opportunity to serve in that capacity. But get involved on a committee, member or not. If you're not a member, you definitely want to get involved with DFW NACE, because again, it is an incredible value, and almost a guarantee to be fruitful in your careers. But like all things, it is what you make it kind of thing too,
Yeah, for sure. And I know you probably hear this a lot from I feel like I've heard it almost at every NACE meeting. NACE is what you put into it.
Mhm.
And that's how you'll get the most benefit from it. It's if you want to just go in and network, you can get a benefit from that. But you'll see that true value once you kind of hop into a committee and definitely start getting more involved. And I think we have so many opportunities, especially because we have so many different, like our committees kind of range from whatever you're passionate about. If you like you just mentioned, community service, if that's a passion of yours, join the community service committee for sure and help out with that. If you're also passionate about, helping set up programs, our programs directors, they always need help setting up, planning for our programs and our meetings every month. If you're interested in meeting new people and helping guide them on their NACE journey, membership is where it's at. So go ahead and just kind of align yourself with what speaks to you for sure and what you're trying to
Absolutely.
build and grow from.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, once again, DFW NACE, we're here. We're ready for you. We meet on the first Wednesday of every month. We're getting to a pretty elongated video, so we're going to end it here. I'm Sergey Starks, your co-director of membership.
And I'm Ashley Scott, your co-director of membership.
CPCE.
CPCE, can't forget that.
Thank you all for watching.
All right, thanks, guys.